Yo, what's going on? Just ordinary friends and fam. Check this out. We just had a killer war that led us to our 50 win streak right now. 50 Thieves for a 50 win streak. It was a nice war. We've played these guys in the past, especially in CWL, and they usually put up a lot of good numbers. And as you can see, it was another close war. 3 triples they missed out on. And this war actually led to a couple of the JO members getting kicked because their stats were bad. And as everyone knows, we really care about our hit rate and performance. So, if you don't perform, you lose your spot. So, so 50 Thieves, they've been, it looks like off and on for the last couple months. But before that, I mean, just, 100% wars, all Town Hall 16. But looks like a little struggle with Town Hall 17. So hopefully these guys stay in good spirits and stay together and keep it going. Again, looks like they had a little struggle in the last few months since August on CWL, but I mean, still, as you can tell, it was a great war. These guys were we've played them a couple times now, I think in CWL and wars, so it was a lot of fun. A good war is a shootout. Had some really good bases, and hoping we can show off a few right here. But 50 wins for the 50 Thieves. So let's go ahead and we're going to go through and take our time a little bit on a few different attacks and kind of dissect them and go as we go. So this Emoa, this guy's a beast. He does a lot of esports with a few of our members, and he's a killer. So that's for sure. And he does some really off the wall attacks. Not gonna lie, like the recall and Vizzy Grand Champ rushes, and just all kinds of really good stuff. So he's starting. Holy cow! All right, so he's starting with the catapult up top, and then it looks like he did the Archer Queen. A giant arrow across the base and was able to knock out tons of defenses that went across. It looks like I'd have to look back, but it looks like builder huts that were next to that mono right there. The queen gets recalled and recharges over at the town hall, and he's using super drags, right? So that catapult's still taking out those defenses up there. He's doing the super drags going straight over the town hall. Oh, check that out. That Tesla farm next to that mono. And those look at that. Okay, he's using the minion prince too. Uses that ability, which really slows down those defenses as he's pushing through that center core of that base. Unfortunately, he pulled the enemy CC and kind of slowed him down going through the middle there. But that one lone air defense on the backside was the only thing holding them up that would have, maybe caused a little bit of a upset here for the triple. But now with all those heroes and the Royal Champ Spear going out, that was a easy triple for the man. Good job. And now, sure, we'll go ahead and show one of mine, even though it's the same thing over and over again. So by now you guys have seen my replays. You kind of know what to predict and my tutorial on it. So I'm going to go ahead and charge at the bottom here, creating enough of a funnel to where that king is going to get in and get some really good value, right? And what my goal here is to try to reach this poison tower, the poison spell tower, and that scatter, and then I'm hoping that the bounce goes in here, and maybe even will connect with that second poison, right? Obviously neither of those happen. I am still trying to learn how to predict that spiky ball, but that's when things don't happen the way you want. You just adapt and overcome. So send the rest of the kill squad just straight over the town hall. Use the warden's ability over all those defenses there. You want to make sure that you protect all those troops as they go through. And then I have the healing tome on the warden, so it heals those troops up after they've hit the majority of those giant bombs that are sitting around the town hall on most bases. And then, it got a little bit closer than what I wanted here. The troops started to fade out. That single target Inferno was really hurting me in the bottom there. The queen was still alive, and the queen still has her ability, which is how I was able to save this triple here. And I ended up using it right on that multi-archer tower just because I saw in the back end the only thing that was left was that ricochet cannon, and there was still a lot of structures to take out for it not to be a time fail, so that queen's ability was able to get down to the other side with just enough time to triple. And it kind of just goes down to good uses of spells. If you saw, I really held on to that overgrowth spell until the very end of that raid. So it just worked out. So let's go. Okay, so this guy Gator on the other time, it was really coming down to the wire, and he put up 2 triples, which put him back in ratio wise. They only needed to go like think it was 6 for 10 shots, and then or 6 for 10 triples, and then he came in and like secured 2 of them, but yeah, and then I guess the other people just couldn't clutch up, which I get. It happens to the best of us. Not throwing any shade, it's just it happens. And so yeah, okay, Jasper's kind of playing around with a few new armies. He's always so entertaining to watch because he has a couple different counts, and on each different account, he runs like a different attack, right? So this one's going to be that Grand Champ with the Spark Boots charge, and he's getting all the way in there, right? This is insane. He's got to be real careful right now because you don't want to draw that enemy CC when you're all the way deep into that section. That's why he's dropping those Invisi spells really quick, okay? And as soon as he gets there, he ends up pulling the enemy CC and he recalls right away, right? So that's going to bring that enemy CC out and about to where he can take him out easily, okay? So he sets that baby drag down there, does the giant arrow across the base. It doesn't look like he might have hit exactly what he wanted. Trying to see what he might have hit. It looks like he hit the sweeper over here next to that scatter. And yeah, so then he sends the mass drags in there and he uses a stone slammer because those really tank. He doesn't have a lot of loons in this army. It's mostly drags. So he's using that stone slammer, so it'll tank for a lot of those defenses. And then it's filled with 2 drags and a couple loons. And then he uses that minion prince also. What level is his minion prince here? Yeah, 82. So he's working on that quite a bit, and he's got maxed equipment for it. So those drags just coming across. If you saw earlier, the Grand Champ did that his ability with the rocket spears and was able to get those other like that couple defenses over here on the edge, which gave the funnel a little bit better for those drags. And then those drags are just going to keep going through the base. That queen taking out that air defense was clutch, and then the rest is just scrap around the outside. So Jasper doing some very entertaining triples as usual. Man, this is gonna be a lot of videos here. All right, let's do some Kiffy here. Let's see which one. We'll go ahead and do number 9. Okay, so this base number 9 actually had quite a few defense. So this is a good base if you guys are looking to, maybe copy some. Take a look, take a gander. This is actually a really good base. It held up, I think it was 3-4 defenses from us. So, take a look. But this attack got it, and that's what matters. So, and there was another base they had. It was number 7. I can remember it off the top of my head now. I think it had 5 defense, and one of them was, I think for me, as a matter of fact, I know it was, and it was just good base, and anti-root riders. But I wanted the challenge, and the base defended. So for this one, you saw Kiffy. He did that giant arrow across, and he was able to take out. It looked like those 2 air defenses that were sitting on these corners. So that was great. And then from there, he's doing the walk around, taking out another air defense, does the recall. I bet you. All right, there he goes. He starts from the top, sets the queen down, goes directly into that mono. It looks like a couple drags, or 1 drag got taken out from that mono. Sets the warden down, the blimp. Looks like the blimp might have been just a little late there, but was still able to get the clone underneath the town hall. And from there, those Dragon Riders are able to take out those core defenses, which really helped that queen stay alive later on. And then you have the Grand Champ rolling with the rocket spears, taking out those key defenses. The Minion Prince freezing those defenses on the way out. And, then the troops just rally up and take out the rest of the scrap there. So another overpowered attack. Look at the leftover troops and just overkill, right? So I think that's the first time we spotlighted Kiffy on this, and that is awesome stuff. All right, let's see. We'll go with Aries. All right, let's see. We'll do the number 2 one. Yeah, as you guys know, Aries, he's been with Just Ordinary actually longer than I have. So he's been, doing a lot of good things with Just Ordinary over the years. And, quite frankly, we wouldn't be here without him. He's a very valued member to the team, has great insight. I've had the pleasure with meeting up with him a couple times, or one time in the civilian world, if you will. But look at this charge that he goes into there. He uses that fireball. Look how deep he gets. He takes out the enemy town hall and then all those defenses that were around it, and then is able to do the thrower method across. Same kind of thing. He throws in the queen and then the CC to keep that funnel going. That funnel is supposed to get those troops more into the town hall so they don't just wander and go around all the scrap around the outside. And then from there, he's just using his spells really smart. He froze that spitter over there for as long as he could and was able to save a few of those throwers. And then he saved a couple more with that Invisi spell. So just really smart use of the spells. And it looks like he's really got this army down. I'll tell you one thing, I could never get the fireball strat down. Calculating where the invis spells needed to be, and the timing for them to drop and actually show invisible stuff, it was just a little too complicated for my liking. When I can just root rider Valk spam everything. So props to all you guys doing that fireball method. I know that's a very popular hit right now. So yeah. All right, rolling down. Let's see. All right, let's do Is. Is does some crazy hits. This guy, he usually does 2 accounts with us in CWL every month, and usually puts up 20 to 21 stars. I think he goes by Bubbles. I've heard many people call him Bubbles, but he was in Savage Elite before, and when we had the merge between Savage Elite and just Ordinary, we got here. So yeah, it looks like he's using the event troop, which is actually a lot of fun. We haven't showed that yet on the channel. So he's using the spiky ball, using that to break open the defenses there. He sent in the ice golem, hopefully to save that queen from getting taken out, because that queen is going to get into the core, take out as many defenses as possible, uses the Invisi spell, and tries to save. But it looks like one of her ghosts or mirrored queens gets taken out, and then those gingerbreads are just cooking the rest of this base. Pulls the enemy CC, so of course he's going to get stuck on that for a little bit, but those gingerbreads are just rolling around the base, taking everything out. Every time these event troops come around, they're extremely overpowered, and if you can master just the little tactics to keep them active and overpowered in the war, then it's a game over. They're just so easy to master and overpower just because they're event troops. They want to make it special and in the time. So I will say he does a really good job. You can tell his army's getting a little bit lower down here, so he's using a really good job with those spells to make sure that nothing doesn't get taken out in time, and he's still able to triple. So as soon as that mono gets done with the overgrowth, he freezes it so that way all those Valks can get in there. So great job, Is. And that's another thing, I've seen Is rotate his army many times, just with whatever the best strat is for the base. So super overpowered. Now let's see. Yeah, of course we will show a Mad Max one. We'll go against his number 11. I'm trying to pick the highest level bases that people have tripled. So he's kind of doing the same attack that Aries was doing. He's going to be doing the there it is. Holy smokes, look at that fireball. So the fireball spears, or spear throwers, or whatever they're called. I haven't even remembered what their name is yet, but he was able to get that fireball in here and take out the mono, the enemy CC, and did a ton of damage to that town hall. Unfortunately, those builders are healing it up really quick, but he uses a great jump spell here, which gets him into that core area. His funnel was perfect and was able to keep those throwers into the core. Unfortunately, a few stuff gets taken out because those healers get blown back a little bit, and then you have the rest of the air bombs go off, so those healers get taken out. But from there, the queen had an extremely good pathing, and then he sends in that grand champ around the outside, starting at the 9 o'clock, and is able to take out. He's using on the grand champ, so he used the hogs and then the shock boots, and yeah, just overpowered. I'm a real big fan of those electric shock boots, whatever they're called. They because that grand champ, as it's going through the base and it hits any of those skelly traps, those skelly traps take up a bunch of time. It's just one after another, and so it's really good to try and take that out with the sphere, the diameter of that electro stuff. So really big fan of that. Great attack. Let's see if we can hit maybe just a couple more. All right. Who hasn't been? All right, Acid has not been shown, I don't believe. This is another member that's been with us for a while. He actually was one of Aries recruits not too long ago. Well, maybe like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. So he's been with us for a good time, a lot of Town Hall 16 and going into 17. So he's doing that Grand Champ charge with the Invisi spells. And this is, yeah, I mean, in order to be able to, anything Invisi spell, I'm just not a big fan of just because I can't get that timing down. So, props to him. And he's got that aura of the electro boots, whatever they're called, taking out other defenses also. And look at that, he's going to get all the way to the Town Hall, also taking out all those other defenses. How cool is that, guys? That is insane. Good job, Acid. And then from there, let's see what he does. It doesn't even look like he's got a recall for it, so he's just going to let the Grand Champ keep going through the base, and that was it. And it was able to draw the enemy CC also, so that way he can take that out. Sends in a couple Valks at the bottom, 6 o'clock to start taking out that trash that's free after the Grand Champ took stuff out. Sets in the Queen and the CC at the 3 o'clock, and then sets in the rest of the Root Riders and the Valks at the about 4:30, 4:30 to send in through the rest of the base. And one thing that I preached about on this channel 4 years ago when I was super active on it was you want to make a U or an L shape with the base, and as soon as you do that, you have proper funneling, and your troops are just going to follow that U, and it's a lot easier to manipulate with spells, a lot easier to manipulate with your troops and funneling on the outside. Make sure that the enemy CC in this case is going to go around and take out that trash, which keeps the majority of your kill squad straight into the core. Just be smart with your spells. Have a couple freezes or rages for whatever the attack is, and it's game over. Now, there's a few exceptions to that, like if you're doing air attacks with drags, or if you're just doing mass drags, you obviously want to make sure you still have your funnel down, but it's not necessarily as important to have like the U or the L shape. So and then same with like the fireball strats. If you ever see the fireball strats, it's basically the same thing. The fireball's going in, taking out a bunch of key defenses, and then you have a U-shaped pattern that your troops are just going to follow, whether that's giant or super witches or the throwers or root riders, anything really. So let's see. That was an awesome attack by Acid. Love seeing his work, especially when he's going full tryhard. That's exciting. All right, that's one that got kicked out. ITD Cactus. His performance was not that great. I think he was 1 for 6 in the last 3 wars, and honestly starting a little bit of drama. So we decided to call him out, and then he got out, and that was that. So, all right, we're gonna show one more. Who's gonna be the lucky one? Let's see. We did Neville already. Let's see. We'll go with GD. His stuff is always impressive. We're going to do the second one just because it's a higher. Okay, so this base, this is their number 7. This is the one that I was talking about. This one had like 5 or 6 defense. I even attacked it, and I tried to do my King Sui Root Rider attack and I was trying to get the spiky ball to come through here and take out a bunch of stuff, but it didn't work, and it actually defended. So we were like, hey, we need like an OP hitter to hit number 7. It was getting a lot of defense, so we asked GD, hey man, hook it up, and that's what he did. So he's doing a Warden Walk starting at the 6 o'clock, and then taking out a few different structures at the 9 just to create that funnel for what he's about to do, right? And so it's just going to keep going in. He's if you can match that fireball, man, it's just so OP. So he gets in there, he takes out the enemy CC, scatter, multi-archer, looks like a builder hut. I mean, tons of stuff in there, right? And that Grand Warden is still going to go around and take out everything on its own, while the rest of these troops are going to, so the Valks are going to go around the side, and then he's going to hero dive into the core to get rid of all those other key defenses in there. And this is an attack that he does very frequently in CWL, in regular wars. I mean, he is so overpowered with it, and he usually swags. I remember doing the recap of Champs 1 with the Town Hall 17, and he swagged almost his entire Loon army. So incredible attacks. Whenever he was trying hard, this is what he does. So awesome attack. So yeah, I just want to give a shout out. These Just Ordinary guys. We have a solid crew here. We're doing a lot of good things. We're talking about esports. Hopefully that'll be in this year, and a whole bunch of more moves coming, and hoping to get this war log up to 100 into the triple digits. So 50 Thieves, 50 war win streak, good game, and good luck to you guys in the future. And that's all I've got for now, Just Ordinary. We'll talk to you later.